Gage here, BW Sports 1, Global Combat News. Just going to give you a quick little betting breakdown of tonight's PFL card, playoff edition. I'm going to give you two underdog picks on the card that I think you should look into making, as well as my two locks of the card, so stay tuned. Now, the first upset pick you should be looking into making is Clay Colliard over Brent Primus. I believe something right now, Primus is closing at something like a minus 200 favorite. Colliard is something like a plus 160 underdog. Primus is a former Bellator lightweight champion. He comes from a collegiate wrestling background, so if I were to guess, he's probably going to look to implement his wrestling and take Colliard down, control him, and try to win the fight there. He's on a 3-fight winning streak, so he's in his groove at the moment. Colliard, on the other hand, is more known for his striking. He has a decent amount of boxing bouts as well as MMA. PFL vet now for a few years. I believe he made it all the way to the finals last year, but came up short. I think that stylistically, he could make it interesting for Primus. Keep it on the feet, pepper him with a jab, keep him at a distance. I definitely think for the line, plus 160, I would definitely be looking at taking that underdog pick. Clay Colliard over Brent Primus. The second underdog pick you're going to look into making is Mads Brunel over Elvin Espinoza. I believe right now Espinoza is closing as something as like a minus 140 favorite. He's 5-1 inside the PFL Smart Cage. Is actually coming off of his first career loss last time out in PFL, which moved him to 10-1. So he's definitely going to be looking to bounce back. He's a pretty talented fighter, good game everywhere. I'd imagine that this would be a good fight. Mads, on the other hand, is a former UFC fighter who went 1-2 inside the organization, and since his move to Bellator, after a few fights in Cage Warriors in between, he's gone 6-2 inside the organization. I'm going to pick Mads in my straight picks pretty much off of his experience. He's fought tougher competition. He's been in there with a lot more seasoned comp, and I think honestly he's just able to get it done. I think it's a close fight, but if I had to guess, I'd edge Mads' decision. By the time you make the bet, he might be more of a even pick than a underdog, but if you're looking at the moment and want to take an underdog pick, Mads Brunel over Elvin Espinoza. First lock of the card that you should be looking at making is Biggie Ali Walsh versus Brian Stapleton. For those of you who don't know, Ali Walsh is, I believe, the great-grandson of Muhammad Ali. He's only 1-0 as a pro, but he was 5-1 as an amateur and fought most of those fights on PFL undercards where they showcased his great striking, very crisp boxing, good defensively. If there's any holes in his game, it's definitely his grappling, but the guy he's fighting, Stapleton, was only 4-4 as an amateur, and he's making his pro debut on this card. There's a reason that Ali Walsh is going to close something like a minus 1,500 favorite. This should be an easy fight. If I were to guess, he gets it done early, probably knockout inside of 2, maybe even early in the first. Stapleton has been finished as an amateur. He definitely hasn't fought anyone the caliber of Walsh, and it looks like it's a matchup PFL made so they could showcase more of Ali Walsh's skills. So if I were to guess, this would be a quick night for Ali Walsh. And last but not least, the last lock I think you're going to want to make on this card is Jordan Oliver over Brandon Aiko, I think is how you pronounce his name. Jordan is only 1-0 in MMA, but he was a dominant collegiate wrestler, about as good as you can get in his collegiate background. So the guy he's fighting, Brandon, on the other hand, is 5-3 as a pro, is coming off of a loss, 2-4 in his last 6. It's definitely looking like a fight that Jordan should handle easily. If I were to imagine, he gets a takedown early and often, and I believe inside of 2 rounds will secure a submission win or a ground and pound TKO. The line is pretty crazy. I believe he's something like a minus 900 favorite, so there's really not going to be much you win if you bet on him, but if you want to lock, Jordan Oliver over Brandon Aiko.
3, 2, 1, fight!